So I just saw Twister, and I gotta say, it's quite a fun ride. It's not the best movie out there, not even remotely, but it's got a lot of good going for it. Special effects are really nicely done, and well, some definitely haven't aged well. There are others that you could forget were special effects. By that, I mean, computerized effects. Plenty of the effects are, practical, as was often done in the 90s. Because back then they actually had to like compose shots and plan and coordinate and everything. Nowadays you just get a shot done and it gets sent off to the CGI dungeon editors who are forced to do 2 years of work in 2 days. But here it's all rather well done for the most part. Again, some of them really did not age well. As for the characters, yeah, they're pretty good too. They're not complex, they're not advanced, they're not winning any Oscars, they're not performed spectacularly, but they do a pretty good job. There's nice little sweet moments between them. They all seem and act like relatively normal people, aside from the blatant silliness of some of them and the, insanity of others. And let's be honest, they're scientists. They're probably a little bit more autistic than the movie shows. But with all that said, they're also homely and kind and fun, except for the villain, but we'll get to them. And it's honestly to the point that you could feel like you've met some of these people before. Not as them specifically, but, people like them. Everyone knows the guy that sees some absolutely crazy, dangerous thing and then laughs about how cool it was. We all know that guy. As for the villains, they're kind of one note, typical, 90s, 2000s style villain where it's, I'm the good guy, but, an asshole. And they're usually some sort of corporate interest, and it's no different here. It's absolutely the same. And Carrie Elvis actually does a pretty surprising Southern accent. Now, maybe Southerners can tell me how terrible it is in the comments, but still, it's he does a really fun job, right up until his driver gets impaled and he gets flung through a tornado. I'm not sure they deserve that, but hey, movie's got a movie. Another silly thing that the movie does is have characters survive things that they probably shouldn't, like having a house just get lifted up into the air and dropped off somewhere else like it's a fucking Amazon package. That was it was quaint. But with that said, despite how silly the movie gets sometimes, it's still rather exciting. It's still fun, and they really knew how to have fun with the setting that they were using. With all the tornadoes and all the open ground and farms. And despite the I guess you could call it silly fun, there's still some surprisingly accurate science behind it. Gee, is it any wonder Michael Crichton had something to do with this? That man was a weird psychotic genius. So yeah, if you're just looking for a movie to have fun with the kids for a little bit, provided they're not like 2 years old, so you could just get the whole family in, watch the movie while you're eating dinner or whatever, or yeah, and just have yourself a nice, regular 90s, early 2000s energy type movie. It's really great. It does leave me a little bit concerned for what and how the sequel is even going to be. But hey, we'll see. So yeah, go watch the original before the sequel ruins your Google searches.